Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to make this, and that is basically a video which always freezes wherever I'm looking at. So basically what you see the cursor, that's what my eye focus is. And with this little device here, with the Tobii Eyetracker, I used the 4C, but you can also use the 5. I'm tracking where my focus point is, and over there it always gets frozen. It's a bit weird, this kind of effect, because on the edge of my field of view I do always see that the video is continuing, but yeah, if I switch to those points that seem to be moving, it also freezes over there. So yeah, you can see I'm not using my mouse or anything, I'm just using my eyes. Okay, so let's jump in and take a look at how to get the data from the eye tracker into Touchdesigner. So this is the Tobii Eyetracker. Yeah, you can get it online. It's usually for gaming, but for me it was the best solution to track my eye gaze. There are other solutions too, where you can just use your webcam, but yeah, I found them not very good. So yeah, I got this one. And then the problem about it is a little bit that unfortunately they don't have a plugin for Touchdesigner. They have it for Unity or Unreal. You can contact them and then they can give it to you, but for Touchdesigner they don't have it. So there are some people who managed to write their own plugin, but I don't know, they didn't really upload it, and I didn't want to do it myself. It takes super long and I'm not a coder, so I found another solution, and that is called GazePoint. It's also from Tobii. It's really easy to download. You can get it here, and then the good thing is if you open it, you can control the mouse just through your gaze. So wherever you're looking at, the mouse will go. You can even click if you're looking at something for a longer time. And the only thing you have to do is to calibrate this. To calibrate it here. But I'm not going to show you how to do this because it's very easy and it's very self-explaining. So when you've done that, you have the possibility to use inside of Touchdesigner just the mouse cursor as an input. And that's super simple because there is a already made node for it. So it's a little hack around. But in this case, it worked really well, really fast and easy. So yeah, that's how I got the eye tracking into Touchdesigner. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So inside of Touchdesigner, let's start with deleting all the nodes and creating a container comp. Inside of the container comp, we start with a movie file in. I think for explaining it, I will start with this video here. It's just a stock video from Pexels, but it works really good for explaining the whole concept. And later on I will use another one for the final version, but you will see that. And basically the first step is to freeze the video. So we have to open a cache node. And inside of the cache node, we have to activate the prefill button. And now it's freezing. And we don't want to do this all over the screen. That's very boring. So we create a circle. And the circle should be a little bit softer. So we increase the softness to 0.2. And the resolution should be 1024. And I always just copy the parameter and paste the reference from the width to the height. Because then it's just much quicker to change. Now it's always doing it automatically. And this circle we now have to move over an empty background. So we create a composite node, and then also a constant node. Plug the circle and the constant node in here. And actually the constant has to be on alpha 0. And the resolution has to be set to parent panel size, so that it's automatically using the parent panel size. Oh, we haven't done this yet. So you could put your resolution in here from your screen or your display, but you can also just say horizontal mode fill and vertical mode fill. Then it's doing it automatically. Okay, now in the comp node, you have to change it from the operation from multiply to over. And also you have to change the prefit overlay from fill to native resolution. Okay, and now what we want to do is we want to change this translate section from this composite node, and we want to change it from minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. That's actually in both in the TX but also in the TY direction. Yeah, it's the same range. So this is quite important for us, because it doesn't really make sense to let this kind of frozen zone go outside of the whole screen. So yeah, we use 0.5. And in order to get the data from the cursor, or which is actually the data from the eye, in here we have to use a chop, a mouse in chop. So here we see now, okay, in X direction it's going from -1 to 1, and in Y direction it's already minus 0.5 to 0.5. I don't know why, but we have to change it for the X. So let's select the TX channel, create a math node, and instead of the range, change the input range from -1 to 1 and the output range from -0.5 to 0.5. Okay. We also have to select the TY. And now we can use these two channels here inside of our comp. So we go back into our comp, into the translate section, and put in a beautiful line in here. Yeah, this is how it goes. Yes. Yeah, so with this line, you see that it's connected. We copy and paste it, change TX to TY, and math1 to select 2. Okay, and now we see the circle is moving around with us, which is good. Now we have to connect the circle again to the video, and of course we do this again with a composite node. We can leave it on multiply. Yeah, and now we have, instead of white, here a frozen image. The only problem is a little bit that it's always the same image, so let's change also that. And we do this by comparing the current frame with, like, the data of the position with frame from 2 seconds ago. So let's 2 frames ago. So let's plug in the mouse into our delay node, change it to frames, to 2 frames. That was the best value for me, because you want to have it as short as possible, but yeah, at the same time, 1 was not enough. And then we are using a math node and subtracting the delayed value from our current value. So we have to change combine chops to subtract. And now what you see is, if I'm not moving the mouse, it's on 0. If I'm moving it a little bit, the value is quite low. If I'm moving it really fast, the difference, of course, is also bigger. Okay, and now we create a logic node and tell it to always go off when outside of bounds. And this is, so here you're basically putting the threshold now when to react. For me, minus 0.5 worked really well, and then plus 0.25. So here we can paste the reference again and just have to put a minus here, then this is working. And which I wonder, so now this is separated, the x and the y value, but we just want to have, we just want to have one. So if we set it on AND, yeah, if we set it on AND, it's working. Okay, so this we can put now into our cache. Where is it here? Yeah, because basically if you see here in the pre-fill pulse, it's always set on 0, and if I click pulse, it's a 1. So that's exactly what we get out of here. Oh no, it's actually not. It's the other way around, so we also have to invert it. Then, okay, then it has to be like, oh, why is it not working anymore? Then it has to be an OR here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you have to set it on off when outside bounds, invert that, and combine the channels with an OR. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this line now and put it into the prefill pulse. The node is called logic1 and not math1. And the channel is called TX, so that's fine. And now, yeah, if we are moving it slow, it's always the same frame. And if it's faster, it's updating. It's better visible here, actually. Okay, that's, yeah, so this is working, that's good. The next thing we're gonna do is, so basically if you now just composite this over, I mean, let's take a look at it. Yeah, this frozen part over our normal video, it's a little bit boring and it's not really working well because this zone in between doesn't look good, you know. So what we will do is we create basically a part where it's offsetted. So basically a time delay kind of. So for that we first create a texture 3D node, plug our movie file in here, change the size to 60, and then we create a time machine. And this time machine needs a mask now, where it gets black and white data. So we have to tell the time machine, yeah, where it should time delay the frames exactly. So for that we have to create a new new mask. We will use our old comp mask here, the circle. Or we will change it a little bit. We will make it a little bit more interesting. We will create a feedback loop. We also need a composite again. And then we just, close it all together. We always have to paste the comp4. We basically drag and drop it into the feedback loop and set the comp4 on over. Yeah, so this is working already. Let's transform it each time we go through. We transform it by, let's say, I mean, there are two different effects. Let's start with this one, 0.99. And then what's happening is, you see it's all dragged to the middle and getting smaller and smaller. I don't really like this edge, so we can blur it a little bit more. Let's set the fill size on 10 and the sample step on 2 and 2. That's already better. And let's do another thing inside of this loop. Let's change the opacity with the level node. So we go into the post section and change the opacity to 0.985. Yeah, what's happening now is, yeah, you see it's getting a little bit less opacity in the background. Okay, so this is our mask now that we're going to use. So everywhere where the alpha is, it's indicating it as black, basically, there it's offsetting it by -60 frames. And everywhere where it's white, it's the current frame. And yeah, basically if we put together these two, this is gonna be much better already, but still not perfect. Yeah, I think I want to blur the zone, this intersection zone again. So I will use the circle, create a level node again, just set the brightness on 1, create a new composite node, and use our feedback version and this inverted version and combine them with an oversetting. And now I just have to change the black to alpha 0 with a channel mix node. And I just changed the alpha settings to 1, 1, 1, 0. Yeah, now I have a mask of only this, the part where I want to blur it. Okay, so we have to combine again our mask and this. And we have to blur it. So it's first getting blurred. Filter size of 10. 1 should be fine. Connect these all up. Yeah, and now this has to be combined again with these parts. So we will just create a new composite node and put it on the top. Let's see how this looks like. This looks wrong. It has to be on over here. This was right, and here it should be on a top and not on multiply. Yeah, otherwise it looks dirty. Okay, third part could be a little bit stronger. Yeah, I mean that is up for discussion how to do that. The circle is also a little bit too small, so let's change it a little bit and make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, and this is basically it. So let's create a null pop, call it out, connect our composition in there. Yeah, I prefer to use another video here because it, like for the explanation, the waves look work very well, but I prefer to use a video from this artist here. She's called Luna Ikuta, and she always puts flowers underwater, and they always have like this very slow and subtle movement, which is all over the screen too, just like the waves. And I just found it more interesting and more visually aesthetic. So let's just plug this in into the cache and into the texture 3D node. This always takes a little bit of time because it has to calculate the cache again. Okay. Yes, it's working. Yeah. Because it's such slow movements, it's also less visible with this intersection zone. Okay, perfect. So now we can dive out of our container, create a new window. Inside of the window, we have to drag the container into the window operator so that they are connected. We just turn off the borders and change the opening size to fill. And now the container is not connected yet. So inside of the container, we have to go into the look section and change the background top to out. And now it appears. And now it's going to work. So this is it. This is the tutorial. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of it. It's actually my first Touchdesigner project, and I'm usually just using Houdini, but because they are very similar to each other, it was quite easy to learn. And it's also my first tutorial, so if you have any constructive feedback, just put it into the comments. Also if you have questions, I will try to help you with it. But this is it, and have a good day.